But it was a near-death experience for me.
My stomach is just turned to flab. It's absolutely repulsive and I hate it.
I eat a lot of takeaways, kebabs, fish and chips, curries, all of it. Apart from anything else, they're cheap. I got all of this for £3.50. That's not bad, but what's in it? I mean, every now and again you hear these stories of rat's tails sticking out of burgers and all of that. You don't see it cooked, so you don't know. Could they be bad for us? And then you hear the really terrifying stories, like I've got one here. This was apparently the biggest case of salmonella poisoning in 3 years, and it was all caused by a kebab shop. Scary.
So I'm beginning my investigation by meeting 2 of the 160 people reported to have got salmonella poisoning, all as a result of a dodgy takeaway.
Hello. I'm Richard, you are?
Nitin.
Nitin, right. Nice.
We got home late that night from work and was just looking for a quick bite to eat, really.
We had tandoori chicken.
Right.
And...
You really don't want to even think about it, do you? Tandoori chicken.
Chickpea and potato curry and naan breads.
And then things went wrong. At what
Absolutely.
point did you realise, this isn't good?
You start throwing up, you have diarrhoea, and sometimes you're doing both at the same time.
I found the ambulance and went and left the front door open because I thought if I collapse during the time that they arrive, then there's no way I can let them in. By the time I'd arrived at casualty, my sort of condition had worsened. And
how could it worsen?
By actually blacking out. So I actually lost all consciousness in the waiting room.
So this was all just down for popping out for a takeaway?
A restaurant's job, right, is to provide food that you can eat and that doesn't hospitalise you, let alone another 159 people.
I don't want to sound too dramatic, but it was a near-death experience for me.
That was a horrible experience, but is that just one isolated kebab shop crisis, or is this something that could happen anywhere? It could happen at my takeaway, or yours.
Moving on from that case, what I want to know now is there a wider problem in takeaways? I do some homework and I come across Dr. Yunus Teinaz, a leading health inspector who says there is a widespread problem in our takeaways, and in many cases it comes down to unfit meat. He agrees to meet me in a discreet location.
Hi, you're Yunus. What's worrying me, I mean, is there much sort of bad meat knocking about?
It is a multi-million business.
A multi-million pound business? Hang on, what, the illegal meat that you're talking
Yes.
about? So there's like a sort of underground market in meat?
There is an underground market in meat. It's like a trade in drugs and other illegal items in the market.
So how's it getting into our food chain?
Well, if the meat is diseased, it got pus in it, it is decomposing, it got slime, of course it will cause a food poisoning because it will contaminate.
Surely we'd notice if it was rotten. Do they have ways of hiding that?
They will add bleach.
Bleach?
Yes, they go through a bleach cycle.
It becomes clear why Yunus wants to keep our meeting low-key.
There is a bounty on my head of £100,000.
Bounty?
Bounty, yes. £100,000 from the illegal meat offenders. But with me, it is business as usual.
Am I really to believe that many of our favourite local takeaways could be selling us unchecked, illegally slaughtered, possibly diseased meat? Is the problem really as widespread as Yunus says? I want to find out for myself. We hear that some takeaways in central London could be interested in buying cheap illegal meat. And by illegal, I mean any meat that hasn't been killed in an approved slaughterhouse and checked for disease by government inspectors. Our researchers pose as farmers and offer what they make clear is illegally slaughtered lamb meat to 10 of those takeaways. Of the 10, 6 express an interest in buying it. 1 orders 50 lamb shoulders. We return a week later with the meat and secret cameras.
Hello. Hello, how's the lamb for you? How are you? How are things? How's the lamb for you?
We re-emphasise that our meat has not been legally slaughtered.
This is good stuff. Slaughter on my own farm. That's why I can do a bit cheaper for you. You check it.
The manager asks us to make out 2 separate bills. He's planning to pass on 20 of the lamb shoulders to another takeaway nearby.
30 for you. And 20 for your friend, yeah?
This amount of meat could make up to 1,500 kebabs.
Yes, they're all I got. Yeah. Good stuff. It's very cheap. It's not official, like I didn't inspect it, didn't look at it, but you know. I can bring, yeah, I can bring. Yeah? Yeah.
The takeaway asks us to make a regular delivery and orders 30 more lamb shoulders.
It's the good one. I give you more customers.
Okay. You can get more customers for me?
Yeah.
Yeah? Around this area?
Yeah, this area.
The takeaway he puts us in touch with orders another 70 lamb shoulders. By the way, the meat our researchers sold had gone through all the right legal checks and procedures. It wasn't really unfit. We just didn't tell the takeaway that.
We wrote to Mickey's Fish Bar and Kebab House telling them that we'd film them buying what they believed to be illegal meat, and they responded with a statement saying that they've always bought legal meat in the past and never had any complaints, and that their English is very bad, so they didn't understand. But that's not much consolation to me. So maybe Yunus was right. Maybe illegal meat is rife amongst takeaways. But we can only go by our own experience. And from what we found, 6 out of the 10 takeaways that we went into expressed an interest in buying illegal meat. 6 out of 10. That is shocking. And I can tell you one thing for certain. I'm going to be thinking twice next time I fancy a takeaway.
Then my investigation takes an unexpected turn. I find out that there may be something else in our takeaways that could be a cause for public concern. Some takeaways, I'm told, are cooked in so much fat that it's causing a major problem, somewhere where you'd least expect it. Down below, in the sewers.
So I've come here to Thames Water because they're going to give me a little tour of those sewers to see the rivers and mountains of fat and grease below our feet. Lucky, lucky me. Why in the name of everything am I going to need that?
Well, you never know. We might have to pull you out.
Of what?
We might have to pull you out the sewer. Say you go into one when you're down there.
No.
Not everyone likes it.
What do you mean go into one?
You might flap.
What do you mean flat?
Get hysterical and we'll have to knock you out and then drag you out.
You seen the size of this man's hands?
I'm taken to a sewer in Westminster. When the takeaways and restaurants in nearby Soho pour their fat and grease down the sink, this is where it ends up.
Okay, you ready, Richard?
No. Is there a technique to this, mate, or just climb down a ladder?
So, man, hold on to the top of the ladder and just walk down with ease.
Cool. The boots really help, weigh a ton each. Right.
Right, young man.
Yes.
Let's go and have a look at this old fat.
Down this big, dark,
Okay, yeah, just
gloomy
follow
tunnel.
me.
I haven't got claustrophobia, so it's okay.
Now, this bit here,
Is revolting.
this is the hard stuff. And the
Here you go,
sewer-
Ken, punch up. Let's have the camera have a look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that, world of fat. Now, this is... What's that? That's
Fat.
So, Ken, how does it end up here? This fat?
Well, it all comes out when they do their washing up of the night.
Yeah.
Normally, if you're doing night work and you're working in the sewer, you see it floating on the top.
It doesn't smell desperately nice either.
Nah.
Whoa, this is nasty.
If you bring your camera around here, you can see the flow in the sewer underneath.
If you push me against the wall again, I'll throw you in the sewer.
That's
the
the sewage underneath there.
There's flow underneath it, but I'm not sure how deep. You can't boot it in waders. So you're lucky you don't have to go down.
Do you know,
mate.
Ken, I was not going in. So you're now breaking through the crust of fat on top of the sewage flow.
That's fat. And sewage and everything mixed all into one. I would say that that's been down here for quite a while. Sort of floppy jelly-like fat. You
I'm
can
going to have
see
to back
there,
up
look,
a bit just for a minute, because that is not a nice smell. God blimey.
It's our bread and butter.
Oh, back up for a sec, boys. I think I might need to take a breather.
So why is everybody running away all of a sudden?
Because
Smell.
that's not nice.
I'm not going to wash my boots.
God. I thought I was going to lose the lot then. Well, I had no idea. I didn't know what to expect when I went down. I knew it would pong a bit, but cheers, my hook. I thought the smell would be, you know, the stuff you get in sewers, but it's not. The smell was and is the fat. It's the smell of the fat. And the fat, it's just there on the surface. It's the dominating thing down there. It's not what you'd expect. The main thing down there is fat.
The thing is, as a takeaway eater, I'm actually eating fat up to twice a week. If it's blocking up the sewer, what could it be doing to me? I want to take a closer look at the fat that I'm eating.
When you buy takeaway, it's made away from home. So I've brought it all home. I'm going to do my own takeaway in my kitchen. So I've ordered my fat. This is the first thing I did. This is one of many companies. They supply this stuff to restaurants and takeaways and all sorts of people. And this huge drum of it cost 20 quid. It's called Long Life. Ooh, it's sort of dripping. I don't know. I haven't actually opened this at all. Ooh, it's sort of goopy. It's called Long Life Cooking Oil. And in it there is partially hydrogenated vegetable oils. I've heard of partially hydrogenated. I've no idea what that means. You can use 9 months from the day of production. It's not nice. You wouldn't want to just eat that raw. It's sort of really unpleasant. I'm going to put... Do you realise if I actually spilt that, officially this house would have to be knocked down because you'd never degrease it. Oh. Now, when I ordered this stuff, they were quite pleased with it because they said the beauty of it is it's long life. You can use it over and over and over again. And it can withstand really high temperatures without degrading. Yeah. I'm hungry already. Oh, yes. I know, I'm looking good. Right. This is it. This is exactly what happens in your local takeaway in your chip shop. It's the same chips, it's the same oil being cooked in the same way. This is what you see at your chippy. Of course, what you don't see at your chippy is that stuff. Oh, they smell absolutely brilliant. I'm going to try one. Ha! Good. Lovely. Oh, well. Tastes exactly like a chip. What do you think? That's a takeaway chip, isn't it?
That's lovely.
It's standard.
So what exactly is partially hydrogenated vegetable fat? And should I worry about it? Time to find out.
I've arranged to meet an expert. He is a professor of nutrition. Not only that, he's also an expert in dietary fats. So he, more than anybody else, should know what's in this stuff. His name is Professor Klaus Waller, and I'm meeting him in a chip shop.
This chip shop, you'll be pleased to know, is a hydrogenated fat-free zone. Or at least it was until I arrived.
Right, here it is, Klaus. That's my hydrogenated fat. What is it? I mean, what is this stuff? It's sort of gloopy, gooey. Bleh.
It's horrendous, isn't it? This is partially hydrogenated oil.
So what is hydrogenated?
Hydrogenated is when you have an oil and you, through a chemical process, you add hydrogen to it.
Why?
It's cheap and it lasts longer.
Okay, why is it so bad then?
In a goo like that, you will have a mixture of fats. You will have saturated fats, but you will also have trans fats.
Trans fats?
Trans fats are considered by a lot of people, including the FDA in America, to enhance your risk of developing cardiovascular disease or heart disease. These trans fats have been shown to be actually worse than saturated fats.
I mean, this is effectively a hidden killer, really.
It is a hidden killer if you eat it in excess. Yes, and a lot of people are eating it in excess.
So, gram for gram, trans fats, those are the artificial ones that are in the oil that's used to cook many of our favourite takeaways are worse than saturated fats that we all know are bad enough for us anyway. And that means regular takeaway eaters, i.e. me, are laying themselves open to a life sentence of high cholesterol and blocked arteries, and ultimately, an early death.
So here's the bottom line. If your takeaway cooks with partially hydrogenated oil, and that could be your local chippy or one of the big chains, you are eating trans fats.